A man peers through a window at a woman's lifeless body. He screams in grief, tears flooding his face. Later at a clinic, the dentist tells him grief is destroying his teeth. The man asks if that's possible. The dentist says emotions leave marks, and his molars are proof. He speaks kindly of the man's wife, says she was beautiful, but it's time to let go. The man asks for her x-rays. The dentist offers, but he declines. Instead, he asks what to do with all the grief. Karsh drives to the Shrouds compound. He meets a woman through a mutual friend. She talks about her ex, an architect, says she still lives in his design. She looks him up online. Karsh tells her not everything's indexed. He owns a restaurant they're sitting in, he says.
Well, that's, very illuminating.
She's surprised it's in a graveyard. He adds he co-owns the cemetery. The restaurant markets their burial tech. The design is part of it. They're called the Shrouds.
I'm okay with dark.
She asks if his wife approved. Karsh says after her burial, he wanted to join her. Cremation was never an option. She was Jewish. Decay mattered. He was an atheist but honored her beliefs. She calls it all a bit much. Karsh offers to show her the grave.
And little screens in all of the headstones. Cute.
At the site, she sees small screens, assumes they're digital photo frames. Karsh reveals the truth. They're live feeds of the buried. He shows her Becca's cam. Her face twists in horror as she watches the decomposing body. Karsh confirms it's real. He zooms and rotates the view, says it helps with his grief. She calls him interesting and steps aside to smoke. Karsh keeps watching.
What?
Later, he's in a bathtub scrolling through potential grave tech locations. Becca's dental x-rays arrive from the dentist. He looked at them. Karsh visits Terry. She's grooming a dog. She teases him about another failed date. He hasn't tried in years, he says. Jokes about going asexual. She reminds him no one could replace Becca. He agrees. Says he just misses the body.
I don't have that problem.
Terry calls him out. Reminds him he once said her body looked like Becca's. Karsh admits it. She tells him her body is her own. He asks why she grooms dogs when she's trained as a vet. It's easier, she says. He brings up the hospital. She still believes they gave Becca unauthorized treatments. Karsh pulls up the 3D image of Becca's body. Terry shakes her head, saying it's too messed up to watch, but Karsh tells her something looks off. After a moment, she sighs and takes a look.
We're inside my dead sister's skull.
Inside the skull, a strange object. Terry says it looks like a tracker. Maybe someone implanted it. Maybe they're following Karsh. If he wants to know, she says, dig up the body.
It's obvious they were tracking you through her.
Karsh asks why anyone would bother tracking him. Terry shrugs. He made industrial videos. Becca mentioned things once, but Terry can't recall the details. A video alert interrupts. The graveyard has been attacked. A message flashes. Meet at the factory. No police. Not yet.
What happened? I was just there for lunch yesterday.
Karsh meets Gary at the site. She says the damage occurred after the restaurant closed. The footage wasn't from a security cam. It moved. She says all the cameras were destroyed.
So far, so good. No press alert yet.
Karsh tells her to shut it all down. Quietly. Say it's upgrades or maintenance. Avoid press. Gary warns about grieving families. Says he needs Maury.
Hey.
Karsh finds Maury at home. Asks if he's seen Terry. Maury has, but they didn't talk about him. He notices Karsh's surveillance setup. Wonders why he wasn't asked to build it. Karsh says it came bundled. Says he's exhausted.
Yeah.
And you weren't paranoid then?
I was worn down.
Maury studies the screen showing Becca's corpse. Asks if it's hard to watch. Karsh says it comforts him. Maury says it looks like she's floating in space. Beautiful in its own way.
It's like she's floating in outer space.
Karsh shows him the vandalism footage. Admits he hasn't visited the site. He's scared. Becca's grave is gone from the feeds. The system's encrypted. He's locked out. None of the live cams work. He wonders if the recent 8K upgrade triggered it. Maury's insulted that he wasn't involved.
Why's your home renovation guys do that?
Some other guys.
Karsh asks for his help. Maury says go back to the original team. Karsh suspects they're involved. He orders food and tells Maury to start digging. Maury asks about Honey, the AI. Karsh says he's not sure she's helping. Later, he tells her to book an appointment with Becca's oncologist.
I'll send you a reminder. Night-night.
That night, Karsh dreams. Becca wakes beside him, says her doctor needs to check her breasts. She leaves. He watches her go.
If not, tomorrow early.
The next morning, Maury presents a discovery. Viking funeral symbols in the encrypted code. The source server is in Reykjavik. Gravetech had plans there. Maybe it's a protest. Could explain the lockout, but not the destruction.
Coordinated or coincidence?
Honey can't find the oncologist. He vanished at a conference in Reykjavik. She'll locate a colleague instead.
Find me a worried colleague who worked on Baker's case with Eckler.
Maury asks again if Karsh visited the damaged site. He hasn't. Doesn't want media attention. Maury still hasn't cracked the system. The hacker is skilled. Karsh says Gary thinks it's political. Graveyard politics. Maury asks if he slept with Terry. Karsh denies it. Says it was tempting. Becca once warned him, stay away from her sister.
When I die, stay away from my sister.
They visit the graveyard together, a sparking cable. It's dangerous. Maury wonders if religious radicals did this. Karsh thinks eco-terrorists. Maury suggests police. Karsh refuses. Clients would panic.
Permissions from clients or city bureaucrats. I hate it.
Maury suspects it wasn't random. Certain graves were targeted. Becca's may be one. He finds tap marks on a cable near her site. Someone might be stealing her, uploading her.
I don't think we'll have to disturb the graves themselves if they're all like this.
Karsh watches a documentary about Karali Sabo, CEO of Citadel Technologies.
Into the international conglomerate it is today.
Later he meets Suman Sabo. Her husband is dying. She's collecting Hungarian grease for him. It may kill him, but he's fading anyway. He's considering backing grave tech in Budapest. He wants to be buried there.
Where he's from, of course. And hopefully be buried there.
Suman is going blind. She told her husband she won't see him through the grave screens. He joked about it. Karsh mentions upcoming haptic tech, deeper interaction, expensive. She voices her husband's fear. Grave tech could be weaponized. Russians might exploit it. He needs assurance his body won't be used like that.
I need reassurance.
Karsh asks Gary if that's possible. She says yes. If hacked, the Shroud can track someone via the app. Karsh wears a shroud, watches himself on screen. Honey asks what he's doing. He says he wants to understand. She tells him Becca never felt it. It's not for the living. Karsh questions everything. He wonders if it was all a mistake. Honey tells him not to let the sabotage break him, then says she's found someone to speak to.
I wanted to know what it felt like to be wrapped.
Karsh meets Dr. Zhao. He praises the resolution of Becca's imagery, recognizes the tech, Shining Cloth Technologies from China. The same is used at the hospital.
Shining Cloth Technologies? Yes. How did you know that?
Karsh points out anomalies on the corpse, military or political implants. The doctor says no. He didn't see anything unusual during treatment. He says, Doctor, Eckler has the scans. He moved to Iceland after a divorce. The anomalies are strange, he admits. Promises to follow up.
If I can find anything to tell you, I promise I'll get in touch with Honey.
Honey later tells Karsh Suman wants to meet again. She's using a koala avatar. He asks for her location and tells Honey to disable the avatar.
Easy peasy.
They meet at her hotel. She says home is too hard with Crowley's condition. She assumed Karsh understands. Asks what to do about Hungary's concerns. Karsh says there's no simple solution.
It's always a mix of technology, religion.
She asks to touch his face for feedback. He agrees. She misses the sensation. Karali is too sick. She asks if the same happened with Becca. Karsh says yes. Becca's immune system was too weak. Even kissing was dangerous. Sex was impossible.
You won't touch me. Now. And resist.
Karsh lay naked, looking at Becca's intimate photos. In a dream, he relived a memory. Becca entered, saying she was late. Doctors had found something and removed her left arm and breast. She was shaky, but said she'd be okay. Through tears, she asked if he still desired her. He said yes. She joined him in bed. He embraced her from behind, trying to have sex, but hesitated, afraid to hurt her. She told him to hold her. As he did, her hip bone snapped. She screamed in pain, begging him to press her med collar. They kissed and held each other until help came. Karsh woke up beside Suman. Suman joked about taking his neo-virginity, asking if it traumatized him. He made some odd sounds. Karsh admitted he was still shaky. She warned him not to trust Honey, saying her team found hidden codes suggesting Honey was being controlled. Then she complimented his thighs.
She's not completely an independent AI entity.
Later, as Karsh sat at his PC, Honey asked if he needed help. He told her he had to do this alone and put her to sleep. Then he powered off his phone and pulled out an old one. Karsh called a man who had done volcanic research and damaged his lungs from sulfur dioxide exposure. He asked if Karsh planned to visit the volcanoes. Karsh joked he might, but wouldn't be breathing. The man claimed the Shrouds were leaking radioactive toxins into the land. Karsh disagreed, citing their studies. The man called them lies and said he'd warned the president, who was now reconsidering. Karsh asked if they vandalized the Canadian cemetery. The man said no.
It wasn't anyone from the island.
Suman told Karsh her husband planned to invest in the Shrouds but feared Chinese control. Karsh said a contract blocked government access. She warned it could still be weaponized.
Has interest in that company. A controlling interest.
They ran into Terry walking a dog. Suman asked the breed. Terry said it was a Labradoodle she was boarding. She was a groomer. Terry asked about Suman's dog. She said it was a walking dog. Then Terry left with the dog. Suman sighed, so that's the paranoid sister-in-law. Karsh agreed.
See you later.
In the memory, Becca returned from surgery. They'd replaced her hip and right humerus and planned to do her collarbone, but she told them to wait. Sitting on the bed, she said her body was full of steel, though some bones were still hers.
They did your hip?
Karsh asked about her left breast. She said Dr. Eckler had it, along with her arm and hand, for his presentation in Iceland. She was glad to be part of his project.
With Dr. Eckler?
With this project?
When Karsh asked what the project was, she said it was complicated, and he'd have to ask Eckler. He asked if he was dreaming or if she was alive. She said she didn't know. Terry showed up at Karsh's new place, saying Maury told her where he lived. She mentioned Maury was still chasing her, then asked about Karsh's new girlfriend. He said they weren't dating, but admitted they were having sex, and it helped after being alone since Becca's death.
I know.
He brought up Dr. Eckler. Terry called him Becca's creepy, brilliant professor, someone she wanted approval from. He took her to concerts and made her feel special. Karsh said he later became her oncologist, which felt wrong. He hated him, believing Eckler had her body both when she was young and again while she was dying.
Then he had her body as she was dying, as her doctor.
Terry asked about Karsh's obsession with the body. He said Becca's body was his world, his purpose. When he asked if she had cheated with Eckler, Terry said she'd seen them together after Becca got sick, but assumed it was comfort. Karsh then suggested Eckler might have used her for illegal research. Terry said the thought turned her on and admitted she always liked Karsh.
You know, I've always liked you.
They started having sex. Terry joked about Sumin's dog, said seeing them together made her jealous and certain she'd sleep with him. As they made love, she placed his hands on her chest, claiming hers were bigger than Becca's. Karsh said Maury would be jealous, thinking he owned her. Terry said Maury needed disaster to justify himself and warned Karsh not to trust him. She then asked if she reminded him of Becca and if this was how it was with her. Karsh said Becca warned him to stay away. Terry shouted she was right as he finished. Karsh went to Maury's. Maury said he was decrypting data from the 9 vandalized graves. No ransom, just a lockout. He didn't feel safe working at Karsh's home. He showed Karsh the decrypted images. The same object found in Becca's grave appeared in the others. Non-vandalized graves were clean, suggesting someone tried to erase evidence. Karsh guessed it could be blackmail. Maury said maybe revenge.
For blackmail? I guess revenge.
Honey told Karsh the families of all 9 graves thought it was random. She offered to appear as a koala. Karsh said no. Instead, she morphed into Becca's amputated body, mocking him about Eckler keeping her parts. She revealed Eckler treated the other 9 vandalized graves' bodies too. Maybe he kept theirs. Karsh lost it and yelled.
Look, honey.
Is he a special kind of doctor?
What are you doing?
Karsh told Gary to handle the client meeting with Honey and said he was deleting the AI. He went to Maury's but found nothing.
Maury!
Terry showed him a video of Maury admitting he was Honey, had spied on them, and caused the vandalism. He threatened Karsh unless Terry left him. She yelled, calling him bitter and controlling.
I tell him things, he believes me.
Karsh was stunned. When Terry asked about Honey, he said she was Maury's creation. Nothing incriminating in their chats, just normal text, but for someone like Maury, even that could set him off. Terry agreed, saying there was definitely something between them now.
There isn't us now.
Yeah.
At the cemetery, Gary told Karsh that 7 of the 9 graves were severely damaged, showing him 2 exposed corpses. She said they planned to quietly re-shroud and reconnect them. Karsh hadn't realized the damage was that bad. He asked if Becca was one. Gary said yes and offered to let him see her. He declined. She warned some families might abandon the shroud system entirely. When asked about Becca, Karsh said her shroud needed to be restored, for him and for grave tech.
We need to reconnect Becca, of course.
Karsh met Dr. Zhao at the cemetery. Dr. Zhao said the image was fake implanted, likely to manipulate him. Zhao asked about autopsies, but Karsh said it wasn't appropriate.
My guys were able to peel apart the layers. They're not real.
On the way back, Maury called. Karsh cursed him out. Maury warned he'd made a big mistake and told him to meet.
You'll thank me, I swear.
At the spot, Maury had Karsh leave his phone in the car. He admitted hiring Russian hackers to crash the cemetery. Now the Chinese believed he was sabotaging them. Karsh asked what they wanted. Maury said they planned to use grave tech for surveillance by embedding bone nodes. Karsh said the nodes were fake. Maury claimed Zhao worked for the Chinese and that Eckler was paid to experiment on patients. He showed Karsh his hand, 2 fingers missing, and said he was fleeing to Iceland to escape.
They kidnapped me and tortured me.
At Karsh's place, Terry called him a liar. Karsh insisted he didn't believe Maury either, except for the fingers. She rolled her eyes. Those were lost in high school. They agreed Maury faked the images and drifted into sexual banter.
Maury is very inventive when it comes to conspiracy.
At the cemetery, Karsh showed her the restored site. She admitted it looked good. He mentioned Maury returned the network so the Chinese would back off.
Got my original guys to put it back together.
Terry noticed fresh dirt beside Becca's grave. Someone had been buried next to her. Karsh froze. Opening the app to check Becca's feed, it glitched, and Dr. Eckler's body appeared. Both stared in disbelief.
Becca's creepy doctor, Dr. Jerry Eckler.
Later, back home, Terry asked if Karsh ever really knew Eckler. Becca had made sure their paths didn't cross. He barely remembered the one time they met, thought the body was another of Maury's tricks.
Displace me? To lie beside her instead of me?
Terry guessed maybe Eckler never went to Iceland. Maybe Maury faked it, or the Chinese killed him. Or maybe his wife, after discovering the affair, buried him beside Becca out of spite.
Eckler's wife hired a hitman to kill him.
Karsh refused to dig up the grave, choosing to be buried elsewhere. That shocked her, giving up eternity with Becca over this. He offered his own theory. Maybe he had Eckler buried there himself, because Becca betrayed him.
I gave her to him, to have her here, because she betrayed me with...
Terry, turned on by the conspirum, Casey, told him to fuck her. Karsh boarded a plane with Sumin, uneasy about reaching Budapest. She assured him they'd be fine, even with a stop in Reykjavik. She spoke of friends visiting his grave at Grave Tech, a new life in Budapest, and a penthouse waiting. They boarded.
It won't surprise me if you eventually decided to live there.
As he slept, Karsh mumbled about needing a new passport. When he touched Sumin, She recoiled and screamed. He apologized, shaken, but as she turned, her body was Becca's.
What do you mean?
You promised to lie beside me in the grave.
She accused him of breaking his promise to lie beside her. He blamed her for bringing Eckler. She reminded him Becca was gone. He admitted he was too scared to dig up the grave. She said she understood. Her voice softened, promising they'd be together in Budapest.